This video is recorded to help my students to understand how to design and implement a class. To design and implement a class, we first need to give the class a meaningful name. For this example, we will write a class that simulates a real-life bank account object. So we give the class name called account. Then we need to understand what kind of attributes the class should have. For example, in this one, what bank account must know? So we think bank account must know its ID and must know its balance, for example. So we will have private integer ID and private double balance. One is account ID. Then we realize the ID, once initialized, you cannot change it. So the bank account will hold the ID from beginning to the end, the same ID. You cannot change. So we make ID is file. So private file, integer ID, private double balance. Then we need to know what kind of method a class must have. For example, for this account, we must have constructor, account, so you give me ID, I will generate account with the given ID. Notice the constructor is special method. This method name must be the same as the class name, and this method has no return type. So we can have an overloaded method, account ID with initial balance. You give me an initial balance and the ID, I can generate account. Then we need a method, for example, like set method. You can have this method. You also can have a integer get ID. This will return you the ID of the account. Notice we will not have set ID method because the ID is a file. Once you generate an account, the ID is fixed. Then you cannot change this ID. Another thing is in Java, we're more likely to write the variable name with out underscore. For example, initial balance, we would like to write it in this way. New balance, we write it in this way. So let us keep this practice. Okay. Then we also can use public double get a balance. This will get the balance of this account. Then we will have public boolean deposit. This is a method that will deposit the given amount to the account. If deposited successfully, return you true. Otherwise, return false. So when the deposit was not successful, if the people try to deposit a negative amount or $0 to the account, we should say this deposit will not go through. Then public boolean withdraw double amount. So this withdrawal also will return you true if withdraw successfully. How can you withdraw successfully? First, the amount is legal. That means this withdrawal amount is positive dollar. Second, this withdrawal amount should less than or equal to the account balance. You cannot over withdraw, right? So, okay. Next, we will have public toString. Public string toString. This method will return you a string that represent the bank account information. So we have all those methods designed. After designing all those methods before implementation, I would like you start from this point. Have a good habit and write down the documentation of this class first. This will help you understand more about your design and will help you for the implementation. How to write a documentation? So to write documentation is this. Notice the first part. This slash star star and star slash, whatever in between those will be in your Java documentation. And this add also is a tag will show the author of this class. Add version is a version tag will show the version of this class. Now we will use the same format to document each method. For example, here I type slash star star, hit indicate. Oh, hit indicate, the BlueJ will automatically give me this. Then I can begin say this is the method construct a new account object with given ID. Then I will say this parameter ID, the account ID as integer. Okay, so same thing we do here, slash star star, hit indicate. Then I say this is construct a new account object with given ID and given initial balance. Then I will have a parameter, this ID, the account ID as integer. Then this another parameter, balance, initial balance, the account balance, initial balance as double. Okay, so we can similarly document everything. Here we will say set the account balance as given new balance. Then this parameter, new balance, the new balance of the account as double, right? So we can similarly do all the rest stuff. To save time, I will skip all the rest. Then we begin to implement those methods. Well, maybe I should try one more. Do here slash start, because this one we have return. So you need to describe what this method do. Okay, deposit given amount to the account. The given amount must be legal, i.e. greater than 0. Otherwise, the deposit will fail. So here has a param amount, the deposit amount is double, return true if deposit amount is legal, false otherwise. Okay, so you will have a return tag tell what will be return value of this method. Okay, let me skip the rest. Then we begin to implement this class. So the implementation is very straightforward. For example, this one, we can simply say this .id equal given ID and balance equal 0.0. So basically, this constructor, if you only give me ID, I will generate a count with 0 balance. You might want to add this in your description. So with given ID and 0 balance. Okay. Now for this one, we can simply say this dot ID equal ID and the balance equal initial balance, right? Now this set balance method also very simple. This balance equal new balance. Okay. This get ID method is very simple. Just return ID. This get balance method is just return balance. And this deposit method, we will say you will implement according to the method description. So we will say if amount is less than equal to 0.0, then I will return false. Okay, that means cannot deposit. Otherwise, my balance plus equal amount, I deposit the money and return true. Okay. Now withdraw is the same thing, similar thing, I should say. If amount is less than equal to 0.0 or amount is greater than balance, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to return false because I cannot withdraw. Otherwise, balance minus equal amount, I withdraw that much money from my balance, then return true. Okay. Now the last method I need to do is toString. toString will return a string that represent this account information. So I will do this. For example, I will say string result equal I will say print out a new line first, account ID plus ID result plus equal new line account balance is how much dollar plus balance, then return result. Okay, so after this I try to compile, expect a semicolon, put done. So compile no syntax error. Now if I go to here, I try to write a class that method main function that use this account. I already write something here. Now I write how to use the account class I just built. I will say create account A equal new account 101, create account B equal new account 102, 500. This I call two different constructor. First is the constructor with any given ID generate account. Second, given ID and the initial balance generate account. Then I print out those two account information. Okay. After print out, suppose I call say A dot deposit. If A dot deposit is true, I deposit $2,000 for example. Then system dot out dot print ln deposit successfully. New balance is, put a dollar sign here, plus A dot get balance. Okay, let us write this else system dot out dot print ln unable to deposit. Now let us compile. Say there is no method get balance, so we need to go back to check our method. let's see. Now we notice we misspell this get balance. So I type here get balance. Then I go back. Notice you only need to compile this one class. Project will automatically compile the class that application class uses. This dash line means application class use account class. Okay, when you run the project, you only invoke the main function. So invoke the main function. Then you say the first account ID is 101, balance is 0. The second account ID is 102, balance is 500. Now remember we deposit $2,000 to the first account, so the deposit successfully, new balance is 2,000. So our class work fine. Okay. Now after this class work, you need to generate a documentation for this class. Go to Project Tools, click on Project Documentation. Now, since I generated documentation before, he will ask me, you want to regenerate a documentation for this class or not? I will say regenerate. He will generate in documentation. After that, the count class documentation show up. Notice they have version, author, and your constructor, all the methods. Then you click on any methods, he will show the method detail. For example, I click on withdraw. Then he will say public boolean withdraw. Now, since because to save time, I did not write down the withdrawals documentation. Yeah, let us look at the detail of the deposit since we wrote down this documentation here. So let's us look at the detail of the deposit. So if you say deposit, have here. Deposit the given amount to the account. The given amount must be legal, i.e. greater than or equal 0, otherwise the deposit will fail. Parameters amount, the deposit amount as double, returns true if deposit amount is equal, false otherwise. So you see all those details of this method is here if you document it well. So why we need this? This is called API. So when people use your class, they just need to look at your API to understand how to use your class, because this API provides all the public interface to the user. Okay? So this is an example on how to design and implement and use a class. If you have any question, please give me an email. See you next time.